Hey, check this out, bro. Man, I got a lick for us to hit, man. You in? We can go in, hit this lick, come up on 15, 20,000 just like that. You with it? 15, 20,000. What type of lick that, what are you speaking of? What type of lick are you talking about? Why would you try to have Diego robbed, even though we wouldn't be the ones going in? That's your man. That's the dude that been looking out for us for the longest. Why would you have somebody run up in his spot? Nah, I'm not with that at all. As a matter of fact, I'm about to fall back from you, because if you would do that to him, you would do that to me, man. He been good to you, and you gonna try to rob him, run up in his crib, bro? I'm done, man. Me and you, man, I'm good. I'm done, man. What you mean P needs me to put some money on his book and help him with an attorney? Nah, tell P I ain't got it. I told him to stay out of that situation. I told him to leave it alone. Now they done went in there. Somebody done lost their life, and he's facing all this time. I don't got nothing to do with this at all. Yeah, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kids TV, in the house like motherfucking kitchen sinks. I'm sitting back and I'm reflecting, thinking about all the things that have transpired in my life, the good and the bad. And so I'm thinking about a scenario in which, man, we really, really messed up a sweet situation. Although it was, not necessarily on the right side of the law, it was a sweet situation. Now, before I get into this afternoon's video, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 minutes or better. Meaning that anytime I drop a video or story, it's guaranteed to be at least 30 minutes. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, you're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry, you need to lay down and take a nap, or perhaps you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you view or listen to this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary /life experience. This is the channel for you. Now, if you like the 10, 12, 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's Mr. 30 minutes or better. No pun intended. So with all that being said and wrapped up into one big old nutshell, if you will, pause, there is a message. Let me adjust my attire, if you will. Now, I'm thinking about a situation that I had that was all so sweet. See, my main thing as far as when I was in the streets and getting, in trouble and in and out of the penitentiary, it was counterfeiting. Never proclaimed to be some drug lord. I never proclaimed to be a gorilla in the streets. I was just an individual that liked to get my money because I like to find the things in life just as most people do. In a sense, it was as though I tried to justify, okay, well, I'm only going to do white-collar things. I'm only going to do things, against big banks and credit unions and corporations and, people that have plenty of money. I'm not going to take from the poor. I'm going to take from the rich. But when you really, really dissect it and think about it, all of it is wrong. I dabbled and dabbled in, other little business ventures, to say the least. But my main thing, what I was known for with the detectives and the police department was counterfeiting. That was my MO. This particular situation, because I am a businessman. Particularly, especially rather back then, I was a businessman. So we had a connect, Diego. That was literally his name, Diego. Diego lived directly next door to my partner P. I'm talking about when my partner P walks out of his house, he goes to his left, and Diego's house is, how they make those houses so close to each other, 5-6 feet apart? Maybe 10 feet apart. Diego was the plug. Diego had all the green, all the weed, the marijuana. Plentiful. Had it for days. So he would just give my partner just quarters and just, small amounts. But can you really call anything small that somebody's giving you? And so they formed in a sense, they formed a relationship, a friendship. So Diego, felt more comfortable, and he invited him into the house. He goes into the house. He shows him his whole supply, where it's at and everything. He got burrows of it. I'm talking about, and it's not Reggie. It's that action. It's that real. Yeah, he got the shit that made they was like, hey man, I want that shit that made Elvis die. That killed Elvis. Yeah, he got that real. He got that real action. So he's telling me about this situation. He's like, man, Diego took me into the house, man. And he showed me where it's at, and he got it. He's plentiful, man. He got plenty of money. So I'm like, okay, that's what's up, man. I'm not really thinking anything of it. I got another partner. He happens to call me up. He's like, hey, bro, I know this ain't really your field, but do you know where I could get? He's looking for something in particular. He's looking for a pound. I tell you what, bro. Let me call you back and, see what I can do. Now, keep in mind, this was years and years ago. I'm talking 15, 16 years ago. I don't partake in any of this sort of activity right now whatsoever. And I don't hang around anybody that does anything like this whatsoever. I make the call. I call P. Well, he has to be the contact, if you will, to Diego, because for one, I don't have Diego's phone number, and for two, Diego don't really speak English like that fluent. You can understand him if you're in front of him, but over the phone, he's not gonna really fully understand. He'll understand because you'll know what to say as far as exactly what you're wanting, but you don't want to really say that over the phone. So it was just more or less one of those things where it was best to catch Diego in person. As I mentioned, I called P. He goes next door to see if, Diego's there. He's not there at that particular time. Diego loved to go to the horse tracks. In Kentucky, they call it Keeneland. Well, in Lexington, it's Keeneland. You got Red Mile, you got Keeneland. It's simulcast. Sometimes they'll come in and run live. But for the most part, it's simulcast. He spent a lot of his days working and at Keeneland. Those are the two places that you were primarily going to catch Diego at. And home, of course. A few hours later, Diego comes home. He asks him, how much for a P. Diego say, for you, my friend, give me $650. $650. I call my people back, bro. I got it, but man, he wants $11.50 for it. $500 difference. I'm middlemaning. I'm middlemaning some action. YouTube, so I gotta have to definitely watch what I say and how I say it. So it's a $500 difference. Diego lets us have it for $650. Dude wants it, $11.50, but obviously it's the first time he wants to check it out. Diego's so cool. My friend, just bring me the money, the money back. $500. Actually, $650 is what we owe Diego. I'm sorry. I get with my partner. I pick him up. He gives it to me or whatever. He rides with me. I go meet. Now, when I say my partner, speaking, I'm talking about P. I go meet my other partner. He looks at it, does what he has to do, weighs it or whatever. Yeah, I like it. He takes it. Next day, he hits me up. Bruh, they love that, man. Hey, I'm going to start fooling with you, man. Can you get that often? Yeah, man. For the most part. I don't really know, but yeah, man, just holler at me. A couple days passes. Now he wants another one. Same situation. Diego got it. Boom, boom. $500 made. I give my partner P for like $150. I think $150 for, setting the play up. He was cool with that. The rest I would keep. A couple weeks goes past or what have you. Hits me back. Now he needs two of them. What can I get two for? Shoot, man. Holler at Diego. He said, you want two? Give me $1,200. So now they $600 a piece. It's $1,200 for two of them. I tell him, man, just give me 21, man. Give me $2,100. It's a $900 play. I wasn't trying to be greedy. It's a $900 play. Break my dude P off or whatever. I'm eating. I'm middlemaning. I'm still doing my thing, but I'm middlemaning this whole situation. And every time my dude called me and I called P, Diego had it. Some more, couple months goes past or what have you at this point. Now My partner wants 3 of them. What can I get 3 for? And it's the same scenario. I call, make sure everything's everything. I give it back to them. I get back to my partner. You need 3 of them. Here, give me, 3 bands. It was something like that. Everybody was cool. Everything was straight. But it's always somebody that's greedy. It's always somebody that's going to mess the whole play up. I get the 3 bands, 3,000 from my partner. I give him, I guess Diego probably wanted 1,700, 1,800 back. I give him that, break him off his cut. I done came up $800, $900 to the good. Something that takes 15 minutes, if that, 15, 20 minutes. Time went past again. My dude hits me up. But this time when I'm calling P, oh man, Diego ain't home. I can't catch up with him. It's a few days. Still ain't caught up with him. Something ain't right, man. Dude's right next door. What do you mean you can't catch up with him? You got his phone number? What do you mean you can't catch up with him? Dude's blowing my phone up now and he wants 4 or 5 of them at a time. Really getting ready to eat right here. I got something to tell you, bro. So what's up, man? What's going on? Bro, you remember last time, man, you gave me the 17, actually it was 1750 he was supposed to bring Diego back. Diego had thrown him 3 of them, 3 pounds, 3 P's. And again, years and years and years ago, I'm talking 15, 16, 17, 18 years ago. Bro, I was supposed to take him 1750 back, man, and I didn't. I'm like, what? What are you doing, bro? I took him something back, but I didn't take. Well, how much did you take him? Man, I still owe him like $450. I said, dawg, you playing with the wrong dude, man. You playing with people why are you even playing with people, period, man? Dude is too good to us, to you, because he's your man. He live right next door, and you short him $450? He's like, nah, he ain't worried about it, but he ain't gonna throw us nothing else until he gets the $450. I'm like, duh. I said, probably once he gets his $450, it's money on deck, money on the wood. He ain't gonna throw us nothing. So I can't believe you did this, bro. Why would you do something like this? A couple more months goes past. I guess him and Diego get straight. I kind of distance myself from that whole scenario and situation because I'm like, man, you done already been in this man's house. You done took one of your buddies in this man's house. He done showed you what he has, but you also seen he had a whole lot of artillery in his house. You give a person an inch, they gonna take a mile. One of them situations, they starving, can't get no money from the streets, nothing major. I know who got it. I know whose house we can run up in. Not me. Not I, my friend. No, I don't run in nobody's house. But my partner P, at the time my partner P, and he got a couple young guns. They bout it, and rowdy. They bout whatever. Man, we know Diego's gone, man, because his van, he drove a van. He had a van and he had a white F-150 truck, nice truck. His truck is gone, man. He probably at Kingland somewhere, man. Let's run in. I'm like, bro, run in. His wife is probably there, man. They got kids, man. What are y'all doing, dog? Like, no, that's not, no, absolutely not, dog. Don't do that. You right, man. Like, yeah, you tripping, man. Plus, he done been too good to you. No, don't. I don't care how much money he has in there or what you think that he has in there. I don't care if he got $1 million in there. No, that's a no, man. Don't do that. I guess my recommendation just kind of fell on deaf ears. They decided to run in Diego's crib anyway. Now, P doesn't go in, but his young guns does. So he tells one of his young guns, who had already gone in with him anyway, so what's the young gun gonna do? Go and get more young guns. It's 4 of them. They run in, they kick the door in, boom. Broad daylight. Obviously he had a front door, but then he had a side door. They kicked the side door in. They run inside. They masked up. They got they, weapons on them. They got they, artillery on them. They thinking this is going to be an easy fix. His wife is there. He's not there. He's probably keeneling somewhere. They're going to go in. They know exactly where it's at. If it's no longer in the closet where he showed it to him at, she's going to tell him where it's at. They're going to get all the cash. They're going to get all the green. He indulged in other things as well. But me in particular, it was just a marijuana thing. They want it all. P set the whole play up, but he's not there. They run in. They thought it was going to be sweet. They thought it was just going to be a easy situation. Understand this, young people. Robberies rarely go according to plan. All we got to do is this. We run in and we can grab this and they going to give it up. And sometimes it works out that way, but at some point you get caught because it becomes something that you feel as though, man, that's simple. That was easy to do. So now we can go do it again. Now we can go do it again. And you look up and you 4 or 5 robberies in and boom. The police got you. Somebody tells, yeah, we did this place, that place. Now you facing a life sentence, 40, 50 years, in which you're going to do 85% of that time. So there's no such thing as an easy lick. As I mentioned, they kicked the door in. Wifey's inside. But it was as though wifey knew what was happening. It was as though wifey was already prepared for anything to happen. Wifey pulls a 9 out. Yeah, they got weapons, but wifey, like I said, she was already prepared. Yeah. She's spraying. They running. They never really even got too far in the house. It's 4 of them. They out of there. Well, during the process, 2 of them end up getting hit. One gets hit. He's able to, continue running away, but the other one wasn't so lucky. The other one was unalived. He got sprayed all the way up. Police come. Once the police come, they do what they do, yellow tape the area off or what have you. Now you can imagine the other individual that got hit, he had to go to the hospital. That's how bad it was. It wasn't one of those things where you can't go to the hospital. Well, they young. They don't really necessarily know. And even if they do know, it was not a way to avoid going to the hospital. When you go to the hospital with a wound, a gun wound, stab wound, something that's of significance, they're going to do their test and see if anybody's, been robbed or house broken into or shot or anything of that nature. So they knew they was able to tie him to that scenario, to that situation. Not only did they know, loose lips break relationships, and he definitely ran it. Told everything. Typically happens. So now they have the other 2 in custody, along with him. The other one, like I said, he didn't make it. This is how cold the system is. You would think, okay, they would just be charged with, robbery. Nah, robbery, felon in possession of a handgun, kidnapping, although they never kid. She was ready. But that's what they charged him with. Burglary. And they also got charged with murder. Hold on, kids. How they get charged with murder? You said, I'm not done. Murder and assault. But you said that she was the one that was protecting her house. So if she unalived him and shot the other one, why would they be charged with murder? Because in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, if you in the commission of a felony, such as a violent felony, such as a robbery or something of that nature, and even if it's one of the intruders, if he gets hurt, if he gets unalived, you're going to get charged with it. It's weird. It's crazy. But that's the way that it works. So now they facing all of these major charges. I'm talking about major charges, man. They looking at life sentences. Everybody's just in awe. When I found out about the situation, I immediately cut P off. I had already cut P off in the first place. But once I found out about that, knowing that this is what you all were talking about doing, but I had thought that when I was like, hey, bro, nah, don't fool with that. And you was like, yeah, you right. I thought that I was able to get through to him and he would understand this, but nah, they went and did it anyway. He just didn't go. Well, his name was obviously brought up in the investigation, so they come and get him, aiding and abetting. You set the whole thing up. So now for something that you set up, that you told your little youngsters about, they got you for aiding and abetting. Every charge that they face, you aided and abetted that charge. Everybody's in the county jail. He's calling me, he's sending messages, help him get a lawyer, send some money, commissary. Man, I'm not doing none of that. I'm not even going nowhere near this scenario, situation whatsoever. Absolutely not. Stupid is as stupid does, man. Of course, they send the county jail for a couple years. Everybody's telling on each other. My partner ends up getting like 6 years. The other individuals that was a part of it got like 30 years, 35 years at 85%. And that's what it was. 35 years in the penitentiary. Didn't get a dime, didn't get anything. Now you've put your family at risk. You've put your family at jeopardy because Diego's not stupid. You live right next door, man. You gonna send some people into my wife, who my kids are, I done trusted you and brought you into my home, my friend, and you gonna send your peoples in? So just think if Diego was really, really a rotten individual and he wanted to do something to P, who lived right next door, as I mentioned, his girl. He lived with his girl right next door. Just think if he wanted to retaliate. Thank goodness he didn't. But just think if he wanted to. Y'all rock with me, man. Let me know where you chiming in from. It's hot out here. I gotta drink my water, man. Let me know where you're chiming in from. So dude's in penitentiary after doing 2.5 years in the county jail. Because that's what they do. They'll keep you in the county jail and just basically wait you out. To where you just forced to take a plea deal. You tired of going back and forth to court. All the shenanigans, all the things that go along with making a court date. What they offering, 35, man? Well, I'm going to get life if I go to trial. I'm going to get 60 or 70 if I go to trial. Yeah, man, I'll take the 35. State of Kentucky, Commonwealth of Kentucky, no matter how much time you do, unless you have life without parole or 25 to life, you're going to do 20 years before you see the parole board. If you have, say you have a 40-year sentence, right, at 85%. What 85% is to serve the time out. You're going to see the parole board after 20 years. I don't care if you have 100 years. You have to see the parole board after 20 years if it's a violent offense. The truth sentencing, that's what they call it, the truth sentencing. So you got all these individuals just sitting in prison. You got one individual that lost his life because you all thought that you were going to go in, hit an easy lick, and be out. And the individual that didn't even go, but he told you all about it, he ended up getting 6 years because you're involved just as well. You're lucky you didn't get more than 6 years, for real. You're involved. Just because you didn't go, just because you weren't there, you aided and abetted, you assisted this crime. You complicity. Because if it wasn't for you, the crime wouldn't have taken place because they wouldn't have known the intricacies, the ins and outs of everything. Young people don't seem to understand that. And it's not just young people. It's older people just as well, man. So I'm not putting it all, on young people. Understand this now. Understand you partake in a, I don't care if you just a driver. I don't care if you just tell them where everything's at or where they live at. If you participate in any capacity, you're a part of it. I was listening to Fleece Johnson, and he was talking about, and they say, Kens, why you always put Fleece Johnson in your hashtags? Why do you always talk about Fleece Johnson? I don't always talk about Fleece Johnson. But this is a prison channel. I do prison content, right? So if I do prison content, who more to talk about than Fleece Johnson, a person that's done 40 years, a person that his name has circulated in the Kentucky Department of Corrections from ever since I was locked up. I knew who Fleece Johnson was. At MSNBC, when that interview aired, we were incarcerated. We knew who Fleece Johnson was. So it's not that he's my hero. It's not that I condone anything that he's ever done in his life. But I want these kids to know, I want these young people to know, running these streets will get you dead or in the penitentiary. Half these kids that's running the streets now just doing it because they think it's cool. They listen to rap music, they watching these videos, and they really thinking that you have to be this way. You come from good homes, good parents, good two-parent homes. Some of you one-parent homes, but you come from good homes and you came up playing sports, but yet you leave all of that to run the streets. And for what? When you don't even have to. See, when we was coming up, man, if you was in the streets or you was, doing X, Y, Z, it was because you didn't have anything. You was poor. You didn't have any school clothes. You didn't have lunch money. You barely had food in the refrigerator. Sometimes you come home at night and the electric's off or the gas is off and you got to open that stove up and heat up the house. You're not understanding that this could blow up the whole house. You're not understanding that this is carbon monoxide. You're understanding that this heat coming from the stove, from the oven, is heating up the house and you freezing cold. See, those individuals that, and I'm not even condoning that, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do to put food on the table. But now you got individuals that just think that it's cool to do that. And are just out here in the streets for absolutely no reason. Great in sports, having opportunity, scholarships, got all type of schools looking at, but you leave all of that on the table to run the streets, to end up in the grave or in the penitentiary. It makes absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. And so, like I was saying, I was listening to FLEECE Johnson, and he was just talking about how easy it is to get into prison, which I can attest to that, but it's so difficult to get out. You go to prison with a 10-year prison sentence. You do 2 years to the parole board. You serve 2 years, and then you have an opportunity to get out. Well, if it's something violent, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to allow you to get out your first time up for parole. But the same token, you have an opportunity to go home on parole. They may say, okay, give us another 18 months. Give us another 24 months. Whatever they give you, you come home, 3.5, 4 years total, 5 years. But you have individuals that may have a life sentence. You have individuals that have all of this time and they decide, you know what? If I ain't never going home, guess what? I'm going to make it more difficult for you to go home. So they pick with you. They start fights with you. You don't want to fight. You don't want to go see the parole board and you have, fighting on your record or what have you. You trying to get home to your girl, your baby mama, your kids, your mother, your friends. You trying to get back home. But you have troublemakers in prison, man. People that are miserable. And misery is just in the air when you walk that loop, when you walk on that prison yard, man. Because you got dudes that's never going home. FLEECE talks about a gentleman that I've made a couple videos. Big Rufus. Big Rufus about 6'1", 6'2", 250. He's a gorilla, man. This dude been locked up for a lot of years. Forearms look like Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. He is an garbage can. Big old forearms, man. Would just literally squeeze the life out of you. Big Rufus worked out with 415. I'm talking about repping 415. Squat 600-700 pounds. Deadlift 600-700 pounds. He's curling 225 like it ain't nothing. 225, man, just doing curls. 365 behind the neck, the military presses, like it's nothing. This dude was a beast. He had been locked up for, I don't know. He had been locked up for a lot of years, man. Well, Big Rufus was a bandit. He liked white boys, young white boys. So when you got off at Grey Goose, when you got off that prison bus in Kentucky, is what they call it. Some places the early bird, some places, they have different names. But in Kentucky, it's that Grey Goose. When you get off at Grey Goose and everybody's looking to see who's getting off yeah, my dog, yeah. He from my hood, yeah, come on. You with us. Well, you got the individuals that don't have no hood. You got the individuals that don't have any homeboys or what have you. They just end up getting caught up. Nobody knows them when they get off the bus. So, you got your bandits, if you will, that's peeping at. You got your bandits that's going to just sit back and watch for, a few days, maybe a week or so, see who you hanging with, see if you're going to the commissary, see how much you're on the phone, just see your routine. Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, how you doing, man? He's real subtle. My name is Rufus, man. They call me Rufus. Hey, how you doing? Hey, calm down, man. It ain't nothing like, I know you've heard stories as far as how prison is, and it ain't nothing like that, man. I'm the store man. If you need anything, deodorant, toothpaste, soap, hygienes, Mountain Dews, honey buns, zoom zooms, wham whams, cakes, noodles, whatever, till your money arrives. Holler at me. I got you. I'm make sure you're good. I appreciate it, Mr. Rufus. Nah, Big Rufus, man. I appreciate it, Big Rufus. You little youngster might not be 22, 23 years old, if that old. Big Rufus, as I mentioned, he's 6'1", 6'2", 250, all muscle, solid. Been locked up 15, 17 years, lifting weights the entire time. He's a gorilla. He's a monster, but he comes across as a subtle individual. You sitting there at night, you waiting on your money to come. See, now prison's different because people can just send money on JPay to you in 5 minutes it's there. Back then it wasn't like that. You had to wait for your money order to come. It had to be from the post office. And then you had to wait on your store day. So you may have to wait a couple weeks just to get to the store and get your commissary. You smelling all this beautiful banquet chicken. You got ribs. You got people fixing spaghetti, fried potatoes, salmon. You're going to get a mixture of, a little bit of everything, if you will. They may be making chili dogs over here. They may be making, cheeseburgers over here. You got somebody over here frying popcorn, and you sitting there, you don't have anything. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. You don't eat again until 5:30 in the morning, and that food is going to be garbage. Hey, Mr. Rufus. Big Rufus, man. Big Rufus. Yeah, I'm sorry, Big Rufus. You said that I could come to you? Yeah. What you need, man? He opened up his locker. He got 2 lockers just full of stuff. Full of commissary. He got another foot locker rather. Got all type of stuff in it. You got your laundry bag with you. It's like you going shopping, like you at the grocery store. You might grab you, 7, 8 noodles, 3, 4 Mountain Dews, 6, 7 honey buns. You got your different other cakes. You got your sodas, your Fagos, whatever you want. You grab it. Thanks, Big Rufus. My money's on the way. My mom, she already sent it. She went to the post office. She sent me 300, 400. My money's on the way. As soon as it gets here, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to pay you back what I owe you. Man, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Just when you get your money, man, come holler at me or whatever. And I ain't going to tax you too bad or whatever. I got to make some money off of it. But I ain't going to tax you too bad. Cool, man. Thanks, Big Rufus, man. I appreciate you. So you go back to your cell or your dorm area or what have you, and you happy. You got some food. You could eat. A few days goes past, and money arrives. You look and you get that receipt. I got my money. Another couple days goes past. You go to the commissary. You fill out that list. See, now everything's on the kiosk, but back then you had to fill out a list, and you take it to the commissary, and you hand it to the person in the window or what have you, and they fill your order, put it in your bag, and you go back to your dorm. So you get all the things that you borrowed from Big Rufus. Then you throw 15 more bucks on top of it as the interest, even though he never told you. I got some zoom zooms and wham whams, so he gave me 6 honey buns. I'm gonna give him 10 back. I got 6 sodas from him. I'm gonna give him 10 back. I got 7, 8 noodles. I'm gonna give him 12, 13 noodles back. You see what I'm saying? So I just want my popcorns and I just want to show my appreciation, man, because I wouldn't have made it without Big Rufus. I was starving. Big Rufus. Yeah. Come on in. Big Rufus in his own cell. Come on in. You go inside. You happy? I told you, man. My money came. My mom never let me down. Is everything I owe you? Is everything? So Big Rufus, he's looking through everything. Okay. I told you, Big Rufus, man. I got all your. Oh, here's your cakes. Here's your cakes that you gave me, the honey buns and everything. Just like I said I would do, man. Thanks, Big Rufus. Thank you. Hold on, young man. Yeah, what's up, Big Rufus? This ain't all you owe me. I mean, what do you mean, Big Rufus? I gave you everything back, and I gave you an additional 15 bucks on top of everything that you gave me. I gave your cakes back to you. I gave you... They make the type of cakes Big Rufus was talking about. Oh, Big Rufus. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean, bro? I mean, you gave me my zooms, my whams back, but they make the type of, I want some different type of cakes. Nah, Big Rufus, I don't swing that way, bro. I don't. You don't swing that way? You don't swing that way? Well, you gonna swing that way today? And Big Rufus, man, will according to FLEECE, will just take you. What are you gonna do in a situation like that? No, not me. That would never happen to me. Dudes will knock you straight out in penitentiary, man, and take you, man. Now, I know people will be like, come on, Kens, man, not the real. It don't happen to the real. Nah, it typically don't happen to the real because the real is not going to get themselves, place themselves in a scenario and in a situation like that. But everybody's not real. Everybody's not understanding of this sort of game that's ran in prison. See, in prison, and I understand people saying Cali, that don't happen. In different states, that doesn't happen. I get it. In the feds, it doesn't happen. But every prison doesn't have... I wish it didn't happen anywhere. Every prison doesn't operate under the same politics, if you will. Dudes will knock you out, man, with their hands, choke you out, and take you. You youngsters that got these pistols, these guns, these, Dracos on the streets. Ain't none of that in prison. You can't take that into prison with you. So what you gonna do, man? I'll give me a knife. Man, you can't just walk around prison strapped with a knife. Yeah, you can have one, but 9 times out of 10, it's hidden somewhere to a place to where you can get to. You in a Big Rufus cell, you not getting to no knife. Cells are little, they're small. You 5'8", 5'9", 160 pounds, been out on the streets, just living your best life, running around, smoking, drinking, just having fun. And then you got this gorilla that's 6'2", 250, been locked up 15, 16, 17, 18 years, been lifting weights the entire time, running 5 miles a day on the track without stopping. He's in excellent shape. What are you going to do? Yeah, you can fight for your life. Yeah, you definitely, that's what you should do. But in the major scheme of things, he's going to overpower you. You ever try to wrestle with your big brother? In certain situations, it's your smaller brother. Or just an individual that was just bigger and stronger than you, and there's nothing you could do. There was a dude, man, named Tony Bell. Shout out to Tony Bell. And I never will forget once I really started lifting weights, and I feel like I was strong. So him and I, we would, I'd run up on him, we wrestle or whatever. And we was in the gym, and they had like this mat. And so dude just kept picking me up, slamming me, boom, on the mat. But it was all, friendly. It wasn't fighting or whatever. I'm like, man, here I am lifting all these weights, and I can't even move this dude. Like, this dude is just solid, man. Because he had the genes. He lifted weights just as well, but he already had that natural strength in the genes. And the dude would just pick me up so easily and just, boom, slam me on the mat or whatever. There was nothing that I could do as far as wrestling. Now, in a situation like that, they got Big Rufus. I'm trying to gouge your eyes. I'm trying to hit you in your... I'm trying to do whatever, because I'm about my life. It's me or you. And I ain't trying to have it be me. But everybody's not built that way. Everybody don't have the courage. Everybody don't have the strength, the wherewithal to do those things, to attempt those things. So you have a person like Big Rufus that'll come and grab you by your neck, and I'm just using this as an example. Plenty of Big Rufuses everywhere. Choke you out, take advantage of you. Now you've been had. Man, once you've been had, Big Rufus is I don't want to say a wife, because I don't like referring to it, but in the eyes of Big Rufus, you my girlfriend. You better not do this. You better not talk to this person. You better not go to the child hall by yourself. You better not do, you belong to me. You youngsters ready for that? Y'all ready for that? Now, does it happen to everybody? No. Does it happen in every place? No. But does it happen? Yes. Does it happen often? I wouldn't say often. But back in the days when FLEECE was locked up, in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s, where prison was really, not to say that prison is soft now, because I would never say that, but the word, it was less cameras, officers, they really cared less about you. Dog eat dog. Dog eat dog world. Penitentiary is a very intimidating place, man. When you go to prison, I'm not going to necessarily say you're going to be afraid. It just depends on who you are and what your affiliation is to the streets. Because when you go in there and you see people you know, yeah, what's up, man? It's my hood over there. It's a lot more lax. It's a whole lot easier opposed to when you go in there and you don't know a person. And a person, a soul, they don't know you. And you just in there. People trying to figure you out. You trying to figure out the place. Well, people are plotting on you. They're plotting on you the entire time. Like your big Rufuses. And once Big Rufus has you, unless you're going to do something, unless you're going to go push that blade like Dante from the Dante Show Network, unless you're going to push that blade, you're going to have to figure out something because you're not going to whoop him. You hit him in the head with a weight or something like that, maybe, but that's not going to really, cause any significant, like, you're really, really going to have to take Big Rufus out. Stay out of prison, man. Stay out of prison. Prison is intimidating. I ran into an old friend yesterday. Man, I seen your video. It was a video I did maybe 4 months ago. And it's titled Turned Out in the Shower. It's my biggest video to date. If you all haven't seen it, go watch it. Turned Out in the Prison Shower. Come on, man. You putting all that stuff out there, man. You supposed to be, positivity for the kids, man. Why you on this, this G stuff? This G asterisk Y stuff. Why you? I say, bro, what is more positive than me putting something out for the kids? I'm letting the kids know, man, that this is what prison is about. Stay out of prison. Because if you continue doing the things that you're doing, this is what you're going to be faced with. Yeah, but man, you can talk about sports. You can talk about, man, you can't tell me what to talk about, dude. I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm not glorifying. I'm trying to make prison sound so horrific to where people, young kids, will be horrified to even take a chance of potentially ending up in prison. And unfortunately, stuff like that does happen to where you go to the shower and people are waiting on you, or people run in on you while you're in the shower, or people do get turned out in prison showers. Again, I'm not glorifying anything. What is there to glorify about? Like being locked up. You can't be around your family, your kids, women, loved ones. There's nothing, you don't get no stripes for that. I used to feel so silly when I was locked up. Like, man, everybody else, let's say 4th of July or Thanksgiving or Memorial Day or something, everybody else is spending time with family and cooking out and eating and fellowshipping. And here we are sitting around here in the penitentiary. I used to feel so just this small. And it took me a few trips. I'm a 3-time loser, man. 3-time loser. It took me 3 times to understand, hey, man, this can't be life. I can't continue to live my life like this. So the last time I got out, I was determined. I came home. It was hard when I first came home. But I was able to get my life in order, get my things in order, got my credit and things of that nature together, and just said, man, I left that lifestyle alone, and you all can do the same exact thing if you find yourself under those circumstances. Your life is not over. Does it get tough? Is it tough? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm not going to I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It's tough. But it's not as tough as being in there. It's not as tough as just being under those strenuous circumstances that you're under when you're locked up. Somebody telling you literally when you can go to sleep, when you can wake up, when you can use the bathroom, when you can have visits, when you can get on the phone, when you can go eat. No place to be. You in the shower with a bunch of dudes, man. You don't know who's plotting on you. You don't know who's looking at you. It's 10, 11 other people in the shower with you. Yeah. Yeah, it's real. It definitely goes down in the penitentiary like that, man. And so that's seemingly, I guess this is an answer to your question when you ask me why I often bring up FLEECE Johnson. I don't agree with how Fleece lived his life while he was in the penitentiary. I don't agree with the intimidation factors that he used, methods that he used, rather, when he was in prison. But I understand that he's coming forth to the people, letting them know, like, these are some of the things that I did, and this what went on in the penitentiary. These things went on, and they do go on in the penitentiary. See, bandits come in very different forms. Some are just gorillas. They'll come, knock you out. Some will try to trick you, finesse you, or whatever. Here, man, take his food, man. I don't understand you. Don't listen to all that stuff you done heard on the street, man. Just whenever you get your money, man, just kick me back, maybe extra $5 or something like that. They trick you. They finesse you. Now when you go to give them they compensate. No, Big Rufus don't want them type cakes back. What do? I know what I'm going to do. Big Rufus just going to have to choke me out, take me out or whatever, and I'm going to try my best to the death, to the death. We're going to fight to the death. That's going to be my intentions. Ain't going to be no, all right, man, come on, you can just... But again, everybody don't have that heart to do that. Think about this. Think about old kids, man. I implore a lot of you parents that have younger kids, show them these videos. Show it to them. Make them sit down. I've had people tell me, Kens, man, I made my child sit down and watch your video. Yeah. Make them watch it. It's too vulgar. I'm not vulgar. Yeah, but that's it's too raw. It's not raw enough if you ask me. But it's YouTube, and we can only say we're censored. So we can only say so much on here. But kids really need to know what that prison life is really, really, really about. No sense of sugarcoating nothing. This ain't no place you want to be, kids. Young people, older people, anybody that'll listen. Prison is not a place. Your baby's mama's not going to ride with you for 30 years. Your mother's probably going, good chance she may pass away depending on how old you are. Father may pass away if you have a father in your life. Friends are going to forget all about you. Brothers and sisters, life goes on without you, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the Chizown if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive.